I'm Dana Williams, and welcome to Dominate Your Day. Today is a very special day. Not only do we have an amazing guest, but we have a milestone to celebrate. Today is our 200th episode. I want to thank our staff and our team who's been working on this podcast for the last 2 years. Amazing people behind the scenes to bring you great content and great speakers. And speaking of great speakers, I want to introduce our guest today. Her name is Eva Daniel. And Eva is somebody that I have just fell in love with when I've started following her on LinkedIn. I've been following all the things she's been doing. And she has one of those people that was in corporate and decided to start her own business. She founded the Speak Shop to help thought leaders develop and deliver inspirational stories and speeches that are worthy of big platforms. I just want to take a moment to introduce you to Eva Daniel.
I was working with a client this last year and I would say his problem is fairly typical of a lot of people. Like I was just saying, he had all the pieces there, but they weren't really organized in the most interesting way. And so he was giving a speech, and I encourage every professional, you should consider developing a signature speech based on your expertise. And a signature speech is just the speech you want to be known for. So you should be able, whether it's 10, 15 minute or up to like 30 or 45 minute version of just, if someone were to ask you to come and speak about your industry, what are you talking about? But he was doing a few mistakes that I see a lot of people make in speaking. And the first was he was spending the first couple minutes of his presentation saying, oh, it's so great to be here. And wow, I haven't been in Texas in so long and it's always so hot and blah, blah, blah. It's like very, very boring beginning. And I always tell people, you want to grab your audience's attention. The opening of your talk is the most important part of your entire presentation, because the audience is evaluating whether or not they want to listen to you and whether or not, how interested they're going to be. So I worked with this client to develop what I call like a scene that's a cold open. So when you think about a story, a big story is made up of a lot of these like different like little scenes. So pick one moment, and instead of giving all of the backstory and all of the linear facts to get there, just dive right in. So what that would sound like, for him, it was sort of like, hey, it was June 12 of 2017 and my life was changed forever. Ooh, well, we want to know what happened. What happened next? And then he goes into the story about this car wreck and the impact that it had on his life. But don't waste your beginning. So anyone listening, don't waste the beginning of your talk on pleasantries. If possible, dive right in with a story. Another challenge that he had that I see a lot of people make is he didn't have any level of sticky framework within his talk or anything memorable. And it's amazing how just organizing your information, whether it's into maybe just like an acronym of, hey, today I'm going to give you the SPARK method of speaking. That's mine. Or today we're going to talk about CALL, CALL, or you can create an acronym around something. Or maybe you have, an alliterative thing where if you're sharing 3 principles, maybe they all start with the same letter, or maybe it's a framework, but having some level of memorable way, to have your content flow. A lot of times when we're writing a speech, we'll just smack ideas down and then we don't really think a lot more of it. So having a flow, having an order, and then having a good close, that kind of bookends it. And then one thing he was doing, this happens a lot too, give a preview for your talk. So you want to open that talk, but then you want to tell people where you're going. A lot of times we hear presentations and we have no idea where they're going. And so give your audience a preview. And I always say on the ending of a talk, if you're speaking at an industry conference or event, don't end your presentation on a Q&A. Because if you end on a Q&A, you have given the control of your ending over to the last question asker. I love Q&A. I think it can be really interactive, but you still want to make sure that you've saved 3 to 5 minutes in a powerful, strong close to wrap up all of your content. Because again, you want to own your beginning and own your ending.